Yeah, new look for me. I get to see now. I can't see my scripts anymore. I needed glasses. I need reading glasses, and so I get to where when the guys give me their scripts for the game, whether it's offense or defense, it's harder for me to see them now. So a little bit of help.
Coach, you talked about giving up. You're on the brink of breaking the school record for victories. But after the game on Saturday, you said something that really caught my attention as far as you give up all those wins if you get 5 more for this team.
Yeah.
Do you still feel that way?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Personally, you're wrapped up in your players and your school, and you just need to win games. And so what we've done in the past, really means very little as far as the future is concerned. To be honest with you, I'm proud of what we've accomplished at Wake Forest, but for me personally, I'd much rather win the next 5.
Yeah, Nikita talked about that too, as far as like Mike not really focusing on his record going into the game against Maryland. You're not really worried about the record. It's a team thing or whatnot. I mean, that obviously has to come from you and just filtering that on down through your coaches and your players, right?
Well, honestly, I think I said in the paper that that I was quoted as saying that I didn't care about Mike's record, and that sounds a little bit cold-hearted. In reality, I'm really tickled for him. I think it's a great accomplishment, and I'm really excited for Mike. But I think Mike's focused on the next 5 as I am, and really and truly what you did in the past doesn't matter right now. It'll be great to look back on things, but right now we're looking at Miami.
And what are you seeing from Miami right now? Obviously, a top 10 team in the country, and
yeah,
opponent coming up.
hard to compare, but I think just like Clemson, very talented. Good people up front, good skill guys, well coached, all those kind of things. I mean, you don't get in the top 10 without being a heck of a football team, and they are for sure.
As far as the momentum you guys are carrying into that game, how good is that? To go into this hostile environment, 2 wins in a row, the offense looking good, defense playing up to their potential. How good does that feel?
Well, it's certainly more comfortable than it was going to Clemson. The problem is we played so poorly at Clemson that, it's got everybody on edge, I think. We know Miami's a great football team, but we know to go down there and win, we've got to go play really, really well. And I thought, going down to Clemson, I thought we had a football team that could go compete with those guys, and we didn't do it. So I think going to Miami, our players and our coaches know that we got to bring it. We can't just go down there and show up against this great team. And even if we play well, we're going to have to play maybe even a little above that to get these guys. They're a heck of a team.
What's the difference with your offense right now compared to the way they were playing in the beginning of the season?
Well, I think first and foremost, Tanner's more comfortable with what we're doing. I think early in the year we were probably asking him to do some things that he didn't feel good about. He's a team guy, though, and he's never going to complain, and that can be a problem. We ask our players all the time, what do you like, what do you not like, what do you feel comfortable with, what don't you feel comfortable with, and our players are always reticent to say anything negative, and so we just got to get our guys to tell us when they feel good about the things we're doing, and if they don't feel comfortable, we need to know it. And I think in our case, we had to figure it out more by seeing Tanner play than by him telling us. And I think right now we've got him in a better place.
We talked about this over the years. You can't judge a college football team until it all plays out to the end of the year, and I think people viewed you guys different 2 weeks ago than you're doing right now.
Yeah. Well, I think we're playing better. I mean, we are. I thought against North Carolina State, I thought we really played with great energy, and I didn't know if we could capture that again for Maryland, but we really came out of the locker room exactly the same as we did for North Carolina State. And I think we've beaten 2 pretty good football teams the past couple times out, but this is another step up. I mean, the Canes are pretty special.
What's it like to watch Nikita go crazy like he did Saturday?
Well, certainly we started the game with a lift when he sacked the quarterback right off the jump. So I think watching him play that way is not only good from a coaching perspective, but I think the other 10 guys around him, feed off that. And so, when one guy's making plays, I think, everybody starts getting a lift and starts making plays. And that's when you play good defense. I think, we've got a lot of guys that way on the defensive side that are emotional players. But, making big plays like that, especially early, really gives your defense confidence.
I'm sure you've heard Miami finally heard their word from the NCAA. How much sigh of relief that they're done with it, that it's over, they finally know what they're getting? That must have been hard for a couple of years for them.
Yeah, I'm sure that for their players and coaches and for the school, that's good to get it behind them. And I would think going forward that you're probably going to see a football team that continues to improve. This is a well-coached, talented football team, but I think they won't have any distractions now. I'm sure that's been a distraction for Al and his team.
How much do you and your organization here at Wake Forest talk to kids about stuff like that? Don't do dumb things. Don't deal with boosters and gifts and all that kind of stuff. How much are college football players talked to about stuff like that?
All the time. I mean, all the time. We have to. Compliance does a great job here, but coaches, we have to accept that role also, that we just don't talk football. So many things off the field that are as or more important than football, and so we've got to talk about those things all the time. The problem is, kids do dumb stuff sometimes, and your control does not go beyond the players. We really can't control a lot of the people that come in contact with our players. So it's so important that your players use some maturity and realize that while they're in college, they're amateurs and that they can't take anything beyond room, board, books, tuition, and fees, which most students view as pretty good. But sometimes players don't think that's enough, and you just gotta let them know they can really hurt their not only their football team but their school by making poor decisions.
Have you heard about the sanctions? Well, I don't know if it's official or not yet. I think they said the announcement was going to be at 11 o'clock, but I think they had no postseason ban and only 9 scholarships being taken away. Your thoughts about those sanctions that NCAA brought down to Miami?
Really, JB, don't have any thoughts about that. I'm not on the inside. I don't know Miami's stance. I don't know the NCAA stance, and I know they've turned down a couple bowl games the past couple years, going forward, trying to kind of self-discipline their program, and apparently the NCAA is somewhat satisfied with that. I'm not really sure of all the ins and outs. It'd be hard for me to comment.